Good, good, good. All right. Hey, everybody. Victor here from VB Homes of Texas. Coming to you live from Dallas, Texas. Hey, another day. What's today? Wednesday. Happy Hump Day. It's been a crazy couple of weeks. Um, as many of you know, if you don't know who I am, my name is Victor Balderas. I am the founder owner of VB Homes of Texas. I help people invest your money into an engine that can help create generational wealth and at the same time take every tax benefit that comes with it. If you want to know more, please DM me, email me, follow me, share my contact, call me, text me, and all of the above. I am located in Dallas Fort Worth. I do deals all over the place. I closed my first Canadian deal a month ago with a one of my partners, which was a very exciting time for me. Who would have thought me going and speaking about the Canadian deal? My buddy Josh, his up. Hey, if you want to come up, if you're able to come up, go ahead and request up. A lot of things that we do here in the real estate investing game is that it's trying to go back and find the best deal possible, right? For some reason, we have this huge influx of investors coming in, and it's been, hey, Mark, how you doing? We have a huge influx of investors because they finally understand that real estate is a generational wealth engine that you're able to go back and provide for generations and for you right now. Well, a lot of times when you have that influx of people, you have this large competition on some ideas. But here's the beauty of the whole entire thing. We're about to go back and be in part of the largest transfer of wealth right now. We have all the baby boomers who are about to retire who wants to go back and enjoy life. They have all of this real estate they own themselves, and a lot of times their kids don't want it. So what are they going to do with it? Well, they can't pass it on because their grandkids might be too young, or the other children doesn't want it because they don't want the responsibilities of having be a landlord or be an owner of real estate. And it is a very tedious job because you have to do a lot of upkeep, a lot of bookkeeping, understanding the do's and don'ts of landlords. It's not an easy job. You got to have the right team involved if you're able to do it. And if you do that, you have to go back and make sure that the property management that you're using is going to be profitable for you to still keep the property. And then the maintenance, the upkeep. What are you going to do? Are you able to refinance and take cash out so you can go back and support yourself, or are you going to go back and may possibly just sell the property? So you have all these different variables that you have to go back and maintain. And at the same time, you have competition because you're looking to purchase it. And then what you have to consider, who is in your team, who is in your power team to help you find those deals. Well, for me, I have some great team members. I have a commercial real estate agent, and I have a residential uh, real estate agent who also is an investor who does flips. So whenever you get to the team portion, you want to make sure they're going to go back and vibe with you. They understand what you're looking for, understand what your process is, and understand what you're trying to go back and create. Without having that specific mission involved and allowing your team knowing what you're trying to do, it's going to be kind of hard to go back and make sure you're all on the same page. So you, as the tip of the spear, you have to make sure everybody's sharp, everybody's understanding where you're going, what you're doing, and providing everything in that particular way. So, with that being said, have a plan, go through, figure out what you're going to do. And the best thing about it, write it down and keep it. And also go back and verify it and collaborate with the right people. So, how are we doing, Josh? I love the
Good,
hat.
buddy.
I love the cap.
Soaking up some sun this morning.
Man, you're still not working or enjoying life, or you're at the office?
No, I'm working. Yeah, but I work out of my own house.
Oh man, look at this remote. I love it. And
Until we get the the site trailer sorted out and get internet and power and everything.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I'll be working out of the office here.
Awesome.
We have one of the project managers coming up tonight, and then Thursday, Friday, we're jam-packed meeting with trades and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it's one of the reasons that I'm quite pleased with the team that I'm on is to do development a little bit differently than everybody else. Right, we're taking the time to meet and greet and have the shoot the shit kind of thing with people, and be willing to actually make relationships with these people instead of just here's your contract, do the work, get out of here.
Yeah, especially because you want and that's one of the things where I was talking about making sure your power team understands where you're going. Because if you don't give them a roadmap on where you want to be in X amount of years, how are you going to get there? Everybody's going to go in different paths. So you as a leader has to make sure the rest of the team is under the same page, and plus you have your own boss, and he has to go back and tell you exactly what his plan is for the company, so you can go back and be aligned with that as well.
Yeah, for sure.
It's funny that you're, one thing about Josh, if you don't mind, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, so my name is Josh Martin. I'm up in Canada, BC. So I did the deal with Victor up here in Canada after only 2 months of knowing each other. But I run and started Mindset Mafia. It's a life coaching and mindset business that I'm doing. We're still putting some processes and stuff together. I've got a big mentor, Jeff, the entrepreneur. He's helping me with my brand and story and everything like that. And then I also work for a construction company currently. I made the decision to go back to a big development firm. So I'm very blessed with the team that I've fallen into. And then I just started up my own small business here in town doing utility locating. And it's getting more fire and heat behind it than I thought it would have initially. So
I told you it was a good idea.
Not complaining by any means, but no, lots of steps forward. The one guy that I chatted with, I think it was 2 days ago, used to be the senior manager of Fortis Gas. And I've kind of pitched my little bit of vision to him, and he's like, yeah, let's meet. So interested to see where that goes, because there's no regulatory body for this right now, or no training program at this current time. So we're going to look and see what we can do to create it.
Well, here's the beauty of it, right? You and I had this discussion. You're pitching and everything else. I say, go for it. What's the worst can happen? You become successful.
Yeah.
That's the best thing that's going to happen. The worst thing can happen, you lose a little bit of time and money, right? But, what we discuss a lot of time is the word fear. And we also don't, you made a good point on one of our lives, is that we don't go back and talk about courage. We always talk about the negativity, but the negativity is the one we're always attracted to, right? But if we can go back and identify it and use it as a tool or an outlet to verify what you're doing is going into the right direction.
Yeah.
What's up, Rock? And a lot of times, whenever you become a business owner, an entrepreneur, you have to go back and make sure you're doing everything possible to become successful. And a lot of times you don't know until you try. And fear, you got to use fear in two ways. You can use fear as a indicator that you're doing it right because you're taking that chance. Or you can use fear as an indicator for not doing it. And then when you're not doing it, then you have that ability of being undecisive with your life, and also having that coulda, shoulda, woulda concept.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so true. And we've talked about this a few times, but like a mentor is a huge thing too, right? Like, so I haven't even told you this yet, Victor, but Daniel Gomez does his Speaker Shock or whatever. I think it's called Speaker Shock down in Texas, or somewhere in Texas. I think it's in Houston he does it. And I've been talking with Maria a couple times, his executive assistant, about a few things. And so anyway, I didn't really do any follow-up with it. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with it, so I didn't want to waste her time, obviously, or his. But Jeff, my current mentor in the program that I'm in and everything, actually spoke to Daniel 2 days ago and dropped my name, right? And he's like, yeah, you got to talk to this kid and whatever, right? And so Daniel actually emailed me, and Maria's trying to set up a time for me and Daniel to chat about where I want to do and getting on stages and stuff like that, right? So just be willing to give a lot in your network, because you never know who's going to be upping your name, mentioning you, seeing what you're doing. Like, and it's funny how it all started. People were like hating on some of the stuff I was doing, and they're like, "Oh, I don't know where he's going with this," and blah blah blah. I've been a bit all over the map with it too, right? But if you don't try things, you don't figure it out. So it's funny to see now some of those people coming back around and are, supporting it, liking the pages and liking the posts, and all of a sudden, right? So it's kind of cool to see the traction start growing.
Well, absolutely. This is, you and I have several conversations. Josh and I known each other for what, almost
a year now.
Almost a year. Yeah, over a year now. And so we go back and bounce ideas, on some of my deals, how to go back and do due diligence. Now moving into a new field of a stream of income that I was really never considering. And now I'm also making a change on, instead of working and with all the competition out there in real estate, with stuff that you have to go back and also rebuild and rehab to get it up to par, why not just do a new build?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the new concept that I'm moving towards. So I'm actually having I'm actually having lunch with a gentleman that I met at a multifamily building that they were talking about when they first started buying this 172 unit multi apartment building, and how they went back and progressed through COVID and survived, and they sold it for a nice hefty $15 million profit.
Yeah.
So you have to get yourself into the right rooms. So going to meetups is really important. Going to network events is really important. And if they don't know you, they can't flow you. So you have to go back and do some work. It's not always about texting or making a phone call, because if they don't know your face and only they hear your voice or a text, it's going to be different. You have to have that human contact, making sure that, hey, this is who I am. I am genuine. I am totally transparent. Ask me any questions you want, and then you can read my body language to see whether or not I am telling the truth.
Yeah, 100%. And I think a lot of people, my generation and then the generation below mine, obviously, is all about technology instead of picking up that phone and doing a video call or going to meet for coffee. Like, I prefer that. Like, I be honest, it's a bit of a struggle for me when it comes to we're going through bids and stuff right now and everything, and it's all over Zoom, right? Like, everybody's in the office and I'm up here,
right?
And they're all on Zoom,
right?
And then it's like 3 or 4 people start talking and I have no idea what was said because it echoes through Zoom or whatever, right? So it's a little bit, it's just a little bit easier sometimes in person, right? And it's a bit more, not that you want to that you're worried about the world or internet hiding or taking everything from you. I mean, there's definitely cybersecurity. We're going through some of that with the company I'm with, but when you meet in person, you both put down your phones and you have that conversation with the person. It's totally different, right? Like, you've got that person's attention. You're sitting down, have dinner and a drink with them or whatever it is. You give them your undivided attention, and it's a lot more personable. You get to make a better, stronger connection with that person. They feel like you're giving them your time, which is our biggest asset that we don't value enough.
Absolutely.
And it just makes a stronger bond for that relationship, that business, that whatever that you're doing to go that much further.
Yeah, and you'd be surprised when for example, here's a prime example. I met Will Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
I met him at a 10X event at a workshop. We connected, but we weren't ready to do anything together because we were both new and everything. This is a year ago.
Yeah.
And then we just finished doing the Growth Con for 2022. We met up again. We actually gone on lives before and everything else, and we always kept that connection because you tend to draw yourself certain like-minded people, right?
Yep.
So Will and I actually have this core value of building relationships, and that's one of our biggest and strongest things. Just like you, Josh, is that if you don't build that relationship, you can't go back and help other people and expand, right? So many people has actually asked me to start figure out a way to help other people by doing what I do, and that's
Yeah.
connecting people. And it's funny that I've never really saw that. I knew that I can do it, but it was just a second nature. Nothing is like always doing something out of the norm, um, and then able to connect people with the right people that they didn't know
Yeah.
they needed. So actually, Will and I are working together to possibly do something as a business. So,
Yeah.
and you'd be surprised when you have a conversation with somebody how you're able to interact with them and start helping them, and then eventually you might be collaborating with them to do something in a different type of venture.
Yeah, it's so true. And Will great too, right? Like he's at his beautiful new Florida place. It makes me jealous all the time. But he really wants to help other people, and it's like you said, Victor, you're good at connecting, right? Like I'm not too bad at it myself. I mean, I'm not, I don't do it as much as you do, but I do it more locally in the area I know, because I know a lot of people here, right? Expanding my network into 10x and through you and everybody else now is that next thing, right? But it's the best feeling to help connect a few people to the right deals, because without you, that deal might not have happened, that relationship might not have happened. It could have been that one thing that made or break that person's business, or what that next step for them, whether it's business or not, right? So it's super cool that you guys are putting that together, and I can't wait to see when it all comes to light.
Absolutely. And then, the funny thing about it, I actually got a text this morning from Elizabeth. She's a designer in New York who's moving to Florida. And so I said, hey, Victor, by the way, do you know anybody in South Florida? I was like, yeah. So what are you looking for? Just connections? It's like, yeah. So I connected her with Ricky first. And then it's like, you know what? Give me a minute. Let me make a list. And so I'm actually going to be working on that here momentarily for real estate agents that I know, people that I know out there. There's a couple that I just met. We had dinner with. Mary Beth and her husband Michael. They just started a business out there. They moved to Florida. They decided to buy a RV and live out there, and they're looking to go back and move their whole company from, I think it was New York to Florida, Miami. So it was it's a great connection. But it's all about talking to people and listening, because you don't want to go back and just advertise yourself. You can go back and say, hey, I help people to invest their money into an engine that could create generational wealth. And at the same time, go back and get all the tax benefits that comes with it. And so by giving you a pitch and stuff like that, and I have to refine it a little bit more, is that you get them, they want to know a little bit more about it, but you want to do the same thing on the opposite end. So it's not just about Victor, it's about Josh, who I'm talking to see what he's doing and how I can go back and help him. Because without that connection and having them tell you their story, how are you going to build a relationship?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. It's actually funny you said mentioned Elizabeth. She and I was talking about half hour ago. She wants to do a live with me next week, I think, to talk about mindset and stuff like that. So it's kind of cool that she reached out to you as well.
Oh yeah, she's great. You'll love her.
They're driving down there. It's crazy.
Oh yeah. Wow, they're moving.
With 2 kids or something? 2 kids? 3 kids?
I think, yeah, something like that. So they're actually going to go back and stay there. She's going to do some marketing up in her area. And then she wants to go back and take full advantage of it, because I think they're off for a while. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Well, that's cool.
But anyways.
Well, I appreciate you bringing me up. I've got to run, and I should probably do some sort of work here. So.
Yeah, I got to go back and make a couple of lists and make some phone calls. I have a lunch meeting here in about shit, 2.5 hours.
Yeah, cool.
All right, brother. Keep it
Okay,
good. Be safe. I can't wait to see what you were going to go back and do together. So let's get it going.
Okay, sounds good.
All
Talk
right.
to you later.
All right, bye. Finish and over and end.